Good morning, fellow Plexers. Today we're going to answer two questions from Tuberice 4571, who had a comment yesterday on two separate Plex videos. So the first one was that he's not seeing the option for DVD versus eared ordering in his TV show library like one of my videos showed. So let's go to this test server on my older Synology NAS. I'll go into this TV show library, and what he wants to be able to see is if we go into the edit for the show, click advanced, and right here is episode ordering, and this says TVDB aired because that's my default global choice. If I click this, you can change back to the movie database or to the TVDB. Too many T's and D's, to the TVDB DVD order or the TVDB absolute order. Now you'll only see these options if you didn't change some default settings when you added the library. So if I go to edit the library, to manage, edit, under advanced, you have to be using the Plex TV series scanner and not the older Plex series scanner. And for the agent, you need to be using Plex series and not manually change away to the other options. And you're only going to have these options if you're running a latest version of Plex server. If you say have an old Synology NAS and you install Plex from their package center and you've never updated because you have a bugaboo about updating, you're not going to see these options. So that's an easy fix, hopefully an easy fix, and Tuberice can let me know if he still has problems. So the other issue is, he says, the problem is when I watch a 4K, then back to the director's cut, it saves the same place instead of seeing this as a different movie. So we have a couple things going on. We have Plex versioning and we have Plex editions. Versioning is something everyone can use. Plex movie editions are only something that a Plex Pass user can use. So here's my nested folder structure on this test server. My main media share is Media PD. Then I have a sort folder for each type of library. So here's my movie library sort folder. And now I have folders for separate Plex libraries. A 4K movie folder, a documentary movie folder, one reserved for DVR, one reserved for kids movie, and the main one. So if I go into the main one and pick this movie, The Hitchhiker, I have two different versions of this movie. The original one, and now I'm using Plex versioning to name this differently. 1080p x265 2-channel AAC, and then I'm using versioning and edition naming to name this one differently. The versioning part is it's named differently. It's got this 265 with FLAC instead of 264 with FLAC instead of 265 with AAC. And this is the Plex Pass feature, the edition tag. And naturally this is only going to work if you're running an updated version of Plex. The same problems apply if you're using a 2-year-old or 3-year-old version of Plex. You're not going to gain this feature. So it's always in the curly braces, edition dash, whatever you want the edition to be. If I wanted to change this to uncut, that would be reflected on my server after it automatically scanned in. So if we go to the support article, this will tell you everything you need to know about editions, and you can apply it through the name or you can edit the movie. So this shows how to apply it through the name of the movie, and this shows how to edit it from within Plex to add the edition in this field. Now I don't like doing it this way because if your server ever needs to be moved, but you want a fresh instance of Plex, if you name it that way, it'll scan in that way. This way you gotta go do your custom edits again. So whatever you can do in the file name is permanent no matter how many different Plex server scans it in. Let me see if I have a versioning shortcut that opened up off screen. So this just talks about how to name things to have duplicates. And Plex is supposed to pick up the best version that'll play on the client device. It doesn't always do that. But if you wanted 2 versions of Pulp Fiction in your library to let Plex decide which client needs to play which version, the movie's named the same for each one. It's in the same folder. You use a space dash space, and then you just have a different descriptor for it. And Plex is showing 1080p versus SD. Now they also show in this and the edition support document, movie edition support document, that you can use a period instead of the space dash space. But they never show you replacing a natural space with a period. So this is not licensed to use a period like you're a pirate in a whereas group. And you can see the edition tag is added to these versioning options. So I mean, this is the versioning part. If that's the only difference in the file names, Plex will scan all these in as the same poster. The premium Plex Pass feature of the edition tag scans it in as a separate poster. So let's see that in action. Let me bring in the HTPC client app, which is already pointed to this test server. So I have this movie in my 4K library, and I have the movie listed twice in my regular movie library. If you see, this is the one that has the remastered tag. So no matter what I do with this,
Hey, look. Hey, Gil.
alright, you'll see the watch status is advanced on this one, but not the other one. And if I back out, because this one right now is tied to the 4K one, that watch history doesn't change either. So let's go in here and really advance it. Alright, so you'll see the watch history advanced there. And let's go back into the regular movie library. And it hasn't advanced there. Let me see. I may not be as prepared as I thought I was. Okay, so it's advanced there. Let's go in and edit that. No edition tag. Let's go in here. Oh, it just took a second to catch up. So it caught up in the web app, but it didn't catch up in the HTPC client app as fast. Okay, I was impatient. It didn't happen as fast. So now the that version now matches the watch state of the 4K version. Alright, so let's go to our renaming option. Let's rename the 4K version. We'll get in the right sort library. So we're going to add that edition tag. We get the curly braces first. So it's edition dash, and let's call this 4K. And and I'll rename it and quickly bring this over, and you'll see the activity window start up in a second. There it is. It's scanning that movie. It happened really fast. So now if I go in the web app to that, you'll see it added the little 4K descriptor down here. So let's go back to the HTPC client app. And I gotta remember not to use the mouse. If I switch away from that and then come back in, and now if I enter that, can't find it because it hasn't picked up the changes yet. Let's exit out completely and start that client app again. Of course, it opened off screen. Go to the 4K library. Okay, so now it picked up the changes. You see the 4K denotion up here. And now if I enter it, you also see the 4K addition there. Now if I resume it, and let's go almost to the end. Okay, so now you'll see this 4K version is almost fully watched. If I go back to the regular movie library, you'll see that this one is right where we left off. And now it looks like Plex has lost track of this one after we separated it from the original one. Let's take this one about halfway through. And I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. So I think we were positioning this so it was halfway through. Click in so my keyboard works. Alright, so now in the regular movie library, we have this remastered version that has its own watch state with just a little bit watched. We have the regular version halfway watched, and if we move back to the 4K, we have the 4K version showing as mostly watched. And that's because the 4K version has a special edition tag. The regular version is just itself, and this version is the remastered. So they're all carrying their own watch state, and based on their naming alone, Plex will scan them in separately because of that edition tag. If I go back to my main movie library, I could have given this an edition tag of theatrical release if I wanted to. So you have to understand the difference between versioning and edition. And now that I took my phone call, I can't remember if I've shown both. But Plex has a support article on multiple editions. It's a Plex Pass feature. You need to be using the latest version of Plex. And they also have a versioning article, multi-version movies, and this lets Plex pick the best edition, the best version based on the client app, and it doesn't always work the right way. And this is how to have multiple versions in one library, but it doesn't separate them as their own poster. So, Tuberice 4571. Hopefully this information will get you going with both issues. And I appreciate you watching my channel, and everyone else have a great Plex day.